a mess. The size. Hey guys, well, welcome back to another episode. We are actually out in Tennessee. Got here late last night, got to bed late last night, and we woke up super early this morning, about 4:15 this morning, and we are following Cannon right now. We've gone through a couple different really cool small towns, so it's kind of been cool to see that. We're traveling about 30 minutes out from the lodge that we stayed at, and going to a property that he has out here, and we are literally just gonna go sit in the stand. So he's got a stand out here, and because we've never been out in this area or hunted this property before, we're just gonna go sit in that stand. Hopefully someone walks by, get out, scout around, do some walking, spot and stalking, start learning the property, and then we're gonna come back this afternoon and we're gonna sit down with them, learn more about the other properties that they have to hunt, and put some boots on the ground, figure out what we're gonna do for the rest of the time that we're here, but do a lot of scouting hopefully today. This one we might get lucky. It'd be nice if we got lucky and we both just sat in the stand and big old buck walked out. That'd be great, but it doesn't always happen like that. So we're going to continue following him, and I literally have no idea where we're going. We're hoping we can get back to where we've been. So it's going to be interesting, it's going to be fun, and I just am praying that we see a lot of deer. Oh, look at this. Leak! Got so many layers on me, if we had to walk too far, burn up. But I'm gonna be comfortable while you're freezing again.
Oh, I'm warm. I got thermals on thermals.
So we are set up. We are locked into this tree stand. We are in a double man. Cannon said that it was like 200 yards out here in this draw, and it feels a lot darker than that when you've never been on this property. It felt like it was a half mile all uphill to get back in here, but we're here, sitting in the middle of hardwoods in Tennessee. And who knows what could cruise by, so I put some doe estrus in out in front of us. We saw some pretty fresh scrapes walking in. We could get lucky this morning. You never know, so we're gonna sit tight and see what happens. It's gonna be interesting to see where we're actually at when the sun comes up. Well, the wind's picking up a little bit. We're supposed to get up to like 14-mile-an-hour winds, I think, at least today. It's freezing. We have probably hit the teens down here. My toes are non-existent at this point, so we've sat here a long time this morning not seeing a single thing. But what we're going to do now is we had a whole bunch of scrapes up here on top of this ridge. We're going to get down, start kind of scouting a little bit and see what kind of sign we can see if we can get some signal up there on top of that ridge, and be able to pull up the map so we can maybe get a little layout on this property and do some spot and stalking for a little bit. And then we got a meeting with the landowners, or the business owner really, this afternoon. So we're gonna get back, eat, warm up, figure out game plan for tonight and the rest of the few days, and might be a good time, but you never know, we might be able to pull something out of here, working our way out and do some scouting, so we'll see. All right, well, we're putting the Hercules tires to the test again. We are out here on some pretty rough country out here in Tennessee. We're going to a new spot this evening. It's a big bunch of land, somewhere around 3,000 acres, I believe. And the area that we're going to has kind of been clear cut. But they got a ton of does in this area. and bucks, but we're gonna get the climbers out and see if we can climb up a tree and hopefully get up close and personal to some deer finally. We saw about 7 this morning at a quick glance. They were all does. Didn't really have much footage or many shot opportunities at them, so we're hoping this evening it's a different story. We'll see here. So we got to make it there first. This one's a Hawk's stand. Yeah. Really innovative, and they're at a really good price, but you're getting exceptional. Alright, so we're set up and ready to go this evening. Cannon and Barrett walked us in a brand new spot. And basically what we're overlooking is kind of the edge of a pine cut. We're in big hill country. We got like 150 acres plus of pine cut, or back behind us it's kind of a bowl. And in this bowl it all funnels down to this main draw coming out. We've got a point up here. We got wind too, if you haven't noticed. We got some pretty good winds, about 15 miles an hour. It should drop off this evening. And what we're trying to do is basically intercept these deers. They're coming off these pine thickets down into the bottom where there's fields down low, and they're coming out to feed. So we're just trying to intercept them. We're looking for some does. We saw some big buck sign coming in, so who knows what's gonna walk out in front of us. But we're gonna have to make it happen quick because they're gonna pop out of these pine cuts real quick, and they're gonna be heading downhill. So we gotta finish getting ready, but we're just about set up, and we're gonna be battling this wind a little bit, but it ought to be a good evening. Wind ought to drop off right before dark, and hopefully these woods just light up. All right, so this morning, this is the reoccurring story. 0 deer again this morning. Had a really nice set in this box blind, very comfortable, out of the wind, out of the elements, but didn't see any deer. So we'll see what happens. We've got a day and a half left to put down my first Tennessee deer, so we'll see. I mean, look how fast I can. Look at the size of those acorns. They are loaded, and these aren't touched. These are all sprouting because they have not been touched. This is why the deer are hard to find down here, because late season, they're all in the woods, and in these pine cuts is where they're bedding up all day, and then they're coming out and eating. So we're heading down into the timber to see what we can spot and stalk and spook up. So that's crazy. I mean, look, you can see them all through here. It's insane. We got off the beaten trail today and decided to do some scouting. Came off this massive hillside and really lucked out. So we're finding a lot of acorns. So we know the deer are staying right in the woods, but we're also dealing with a lot of pine cuts around here. So backed off this hillside, which is all hardwoods. It's loaded with acorns. Off these points that are on the opposite side are a lot of pine cuts. And I think the deer are bedding up in those, coming off of those, and down off this hillside there is a huge bottom. It looks like the deer transitioned through. We got main deer trails that we have not seen on this property. Got a lot of deer trails on this hillside which are down and away from the deer stands that are positioned on this property. We got deer beds right here. I think we got about 7 or 8 different deer beds right in here. Found a larger deer bed. It's a lot deeper and it's even longer. So lots of scat on this hillside. We definitely have found where the deer are concentrating on this property, so it's a little bit harder. We got to come off this hillside, and if we shoot something down in the bottom, it's going to be a whole lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. So scouting's paid off for sure. I think we got a spot to come back to. I don't know what we're going to do this evening. Might talk with the guides and see if we're going to go try a different piece of property, but definitely we got a spot to concentrate on tomorrow if we want to get in here, knock off this hillside, set up a little blind, or we can either do that or bring up the climbers and climb, 15, 20 feet up and even have a better view. So we'll see what we do, but we found the deer. All right, so we've made it out to where we're going to be hunting this evening. We gotta unload the stands here. Alright guys, so here we go. We are on the final evening of the Tennessee hunt. It's been nothing that I've expected. They have literally a ton of deer here. You can tell by all the browse pressure, all the sign. You cannot step in the woods in this area of thousands of acres and not see deer droppings, rubs, scrapes, trails. I just don't know what they've done. There's just nobody is seeing deer around here, and I think they're just all kind of hunkered down for the most part in a lot of these pine thickets, just because they've got the food, the weather is cold, and with the moon phase, maybe they're just working mainly at night, which we've had evidence of. Well guys, we made it back to the cabin and it is now time to go. This was a very successful weekend, even though it may not look like it, I guess because we didn't kill anything, but we did see a couple of does the first day. But what we came out for was to talk with Barrett and make a deal out here and have this area for future hunts to come. So we've got a great place that we can now come to turkey hunt, deer hunt, fish. Some of the guys and I might do a retreat out here at some point in time and just have a really good time. So it was a very big success. It was our first time ever hunting in Tennessee. There's just a combination of everything that wasn't good coming together, which made for a really bad 3 days of hunting. I don't know if it's the pressure that's going on right now. It's a surplus amount of acorn crop that's still on the ground in mid-December, which is just crazy. We've had extremely cold temperatures, and we've suspected that all the deer were moving at night, and we walked 4 miles today and walked up almost 30 stories up and down these hills and did not even spook a deer. We were mainly in hardwoods and clear cuts, so it just, you know, I don't know where they were at. They were maybe up in the pines and just staying up in the pines all day, and then they're coming out of the pines to feed in the hardwoods. But anyway, we had a blast. We had a ton of fun. It's some beautiful country. I cannot wait to get back out here and run these hills looking for some turkeys. Might even bring Colby back. He's pretty okay luck when it comes to turkey hunting, but we'll have to see about the deer hunting next year. Just absolutely had a blessed time out here. You guys need to check these guys out. They're Buffalo River Outfitters out in Tennessee. You look them up on Facebook. They have a beautiful facility. They have great cabins, and the riverfront is absolutely beautiful, and we're going to be spending a lot more time up here for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, even though we didn't kill anything. But that's what our show is truly about, is just showing the real deal of what is going on. And you know, we're just thankful to have a safe trip out here and hoping for a safe trip back, and just had a really good time. But I definitely would have loved to kill some deer, but you know, that's part of hunting. So anyway, comment down below what you guys enjoyed about this episode. Give it a big thumbs up, and until next time, have a better than average day. You can jump like crazy. I got you good. I really did, didn't I?